What's good? Brian Tong here, and welcome to the show for all the good and bad inside the world of Apple. And this week, it's all about what you can expect to see at WWDC 2014, just a few days before the big announcements. All right, let's get to the show. And Apple officially announced they'll be making their WWDC keynote announcement available for the public to see with a live stream on Monday, June the 2nd at 10 a.m. Pacific time with exciting announcements. Now, June 2nd will also be the day that no work gets done. Now, Apple doesn't always do this, so consider it a treat. And you know CNET will have our signature pre-keynote and post-keynote coverage for all of Apple's announcements right here, so make sure to hang out with yours truly and the rest of our crew. We'll be taking your live calls, live tweets, and we'll break it all down for you. Now, I think it's going to be a good one this year, so what should we realistically expect to see from the Big A? Well, the Financial Times is reporting that Apple has been working on an iOS-controlled smart home automation platform that will be unveiled at WWDC. Now remember, this conference is all about the developers, and there's typically less of an emphasis on hardware. The platform would turn the iPhone into a remote control for your lights, your security system, and other household appliances. Apple is one of the first retail stores to carry Philips Hue light bulbs and the Nest thermostat that can both be controlled by your phone, but Apple's looking bigger to unveil a new central platform that will do it all with different devices. Now, the report says it will be similar to Apple's Made for iPhone program that labeled speakers, headphones, and accessories, except this time it will apply to light bulbs, home appliances, and more. But too bad they can't use the name iHome. Yeah, it's already taken by this guy. Now, if you've been following this show, we pretty much have kept you up to speed on what else to expect. But just in case, iOS 8, codenamed Okamo, is expected to get a boatload of new features, and all of this will point to the new hardware we can expect to see in the near future. Fitness and health tracking will get a big push with the HealthBook application that is expected to aggregate health and fitness data from different apps and hardware all into one place. It'll be able to track anything from steps taken, calories burned, miles walked, and even blood work details like heart rate, blood pressure, and blood sugar levels. Now, Maps will finally bring public transportation and an improved Maps with clearer labeling and data that will be more reliable, but I'll be the judge of that. We're also hoping to see voice over LTE become a standard part of the OS. Currently, many calls are sent over last-gen 3G networks, but voice over LTE would bring significantly improved call quality, and if you've ever tried a FaceTime audio call, it sounds amazing with a good signal, and that's really what we're missing. All right, in the US, T-Mobile currently supports it, while Verizon and AT&T are testing it out for a rollout later this year. We may or may not see this depending on if the carriers are ready. And we'll be curious to hear anything about the new CarPlay and what type of inter-app integration we might see bridging third-party apps to Apple's new platform. All right, OS 10 10.10 is codenamed Syrah after the fine red wine. And reports from 9to5Mac says Johnny Ive is leading a significant design overhaul for OS 10, and the new aesthetics will be the flagship feature Apple will be touting with the new look and feel across the OS. Expect it to be flat and white, and hopefully they get rid of their hyper colors. And what about Dre? Don't forget about Dre.
Y'all know me, still the same OG, but I've been low-key.
Apple confirmed the deal for $3 billion with this nice picture, but I don't know about you. I was just hoping that Tim Cook would be rocking a big chain in this picture, and also he's hiding something on his wrist. Now, WWDC could be the place to talk about the Apple Beats vision for a music service moving forward, but let's also hope Dre does not perform on stage, because Kanye did that years ago, and everyone stayed seated and watched like it was an app demo.
New gospel, homie, take 6 and take this, haters.
It was embarrassing. All right, on to the hardware side. Like I said last week, we aren't expecting an iPhone or iWatch here. They could prove me wrong, but WWDC has always been the place where new computer hardware has been announced in the past. Now, I expect we'll see new MacBook Pro Retinas with speed bumps at the very least, and the dark horse here could be the long-rumored 12-inch Retina display MacBook Air with a thinner design and an all-new body. We just don't know this for sure yet. Also, iMacs, Mac Minis, and even the Mac Pro could be in the mix for speed bumps and price drops, but if not at WWDC, then most likely during the back-to-school season. And again, I know I still don't see an iWatch or an iPhone here, but the surprise could be the all-new Apple TV, because this is where developers are, and if they're going to open it up for more apps and games, this is the place to show it off. So really, that's a lot of stuff packed into a 2-hour presentation. We have iOS 8, OS 10, a possible home automation platform, new MacBook Pros, another way too long demo for the next Infinity Blade, yawn. Then there's a chance for speed bumps to other Macs and the possibility for the all-new Apple TV. It's more than enough to talk about all that WWDC 2014 stuff until next week. But there's a wrap-up of what we expect here at the Apple Byte. All right, guys, let's get to our spec MacBook Pro case giveaway. Last week, we told you to decide if it was a good Apple or a bad Apple for the Big A to take down the Weed Firm app. Now, a lot of you said it was bad because Apple wants to keep all the weed to themselves, which is exactly what a pothead would say. So congrats go out to our Apple Biters on email. John Lazalde says, bad Apple because what is Wiz Khalifa going to do in his free time? Kerry Gong says good Apple because weed is a bad for anyone. And on Twitter, Daniel Yanez thinks it's a good Apple only because he liked the picture of the good apples we showed. And Ibrahim Namir says it's a bad Apple since they just showed they are against high tech. All right, congrats to all of you, and we will be in touch. Keep sending me your emails to theapplebite@cnet.com or tweet me at Brian Tong so I can read them while I do my crunches. You know, with the summer coming up, got to work on that. That's going to do it for this week's show. We'll see you after WWDC 2014, and I'll catch you all next week for another Bite of the Apple.